Hello and welcome back to some War Thunder today. Today we're going to be checking out one of my favorite aircraft, the Focke-Wulf D13. This aircraft is a premium aircraft we bought with the German Dora pack, and I highly recommend receiving this aircraft, getting this aircraft. It's an aircraft that you can make really good credits in, really good research. It'll really help you get down the German line, and I think it's actually one of the few premium aircraft I would say that's really fun to play. And it's really easy to become actually quite good in this aircraft. But anyways, let's go over some of the stats. This thing has a max speed of 451 miles an hour at 9,700 meters. And this actually, I would like to point out, on the deck you can get up to around 360-ish, 370-ish miles an hour. At medium altitude you can get closer to the 400-ish area, and at max altitude, at around 9,700 meters. 9,700 meters being max altitude, you might engage another fighter in this game. It will do about that. These stats don't lie, actually. This is a very fast aircraft. With a turn time of 21.6 seconds, you're not going to outturn Spitfires, but even some of the Russians at higher tier, you can give them a run for their money, and even a lot of the Americans at the higher tiers, you can really surprise them. And even in Bearcats and whatnot, or even the occasional Mustang that you face, this thing at certain altitudes can outturn them. With three 20mm MG151 cannons with 750 rounds of ammo between all of them. This gives you more than enough ammo to take down a couple bombers, B-17, B-29, and be able to take out other fighters. Actually, jets in this aircraft really aren't that difficult with the amount of ammo that you have. Considering with jet gameplay at the 6.0 BR that it's at, you actually end up seeing jets quite often. And this is something that, for this aircraft, it's really not that difficult. One of my favorite things is to try and engage British meteors, because yes, they're difficult, but this aircraft seems to do it with relative ease if you know how to fly it. But anyways, it's an aircraft that I feel like after a while you can really learn how to fly it. You just have to have a little bit of practice with it, take the first few games and figure it out. Now, the recommended playstyle for this aircraft is pretty simple. Go to 15 degree climb on the nose, just keep climbing, and a lot of things you can actually out-climb. Some of the American jets will zoom climb above you, but then all you have to do is simply avoid their fire, and then they're going to go down below you, and then keep them down below you. Any of the prop planes that you end up seeing, P-51s, you're going to either equal at least or outclimb them. Typically you're going to outclimb them, because it climbs very well. Any of the Spitfires, however, they are going to outclimb you. But remember, at level altitude, no matter what altitude at level flight, you can outrun even the Griffins. That's the great thing about this D series. They really do have a much more powerful engine, and are much more streamlined. But anyways, let's go over some of the history. The Fw190 is a German single-seat, single-engine fighter aircraft designed by Kurt Tank in the late 1930s, actually 1938, 1939 to be exact, widely used during World War II. Along with its well-known counterpart, the Bf-109, the Focke-Wulf became the backbone of the Luftwaffe's Air Force, the twin-row BMW 801 radial engine that powered most operational versions of the 190 to lift larger loads than the Bf-109, allowing its use as a daily fighter-bomber ground attack aircraft, and to a lesser degree a night fighter. The Focke-Wulf 190A started flying operationally over France in August of 1941, and quickly proved superior in all but to the turn radius of the Royal Air Force's main frontline fighter at the time, the Spitfire Mark V. And that actually is true. It's even shown in War Thunder, as the A5s and even the A1s that we have. I think there's like an A4 also in War Thunder, that they do outrun the Spitfire Mark Vs in every way, but you aren't going to outturn a Spitfire Mark V. Those things are insane. But anyways, in July of 1942 and December 1942, the Focke-Wulf 190 made its air combat debut in the Eastern Front, finding much success in the specialized ground attack units called battle wings or strike wings from October 1943 onwards, following the redesignation of all former dive bomber wings at the time. By the way, the only reason I paused, there's a German word there. I just can't even pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try. Sturkampfjurger? I don't know. Germany. Why do you do this? Anyways, though Soviet pilots considered the Bf-109 to be the greater threat, the Focke-Wulf 190 and its pilots proved just as capable as the smaller Bf-109s in aerial combat. The opinion of the German pilots who both flew the Focke-Wulf 190 and the Bf-109 really did like the Focke-Wulf 190, had increased firepower and maneuverability at low to medium altitudes. Still, it never entirely replaced the Bf-109. Think of it this way, the 190 is still more of an attacker, it's still more of the I hate to use the word heavy fighter, but it is a lot heavier than the 109. The 109 is kind of the, how do I put it? It's kind of like the ballerina of the two. It's very light, it's very nimble, very agile, whereas the Fw190 is kind of like the football player. You know, it just comes in and just beats the crap out of you and just leaves. I guess. I don't know. That's what I'm going to go with. With the Focke-Wulf A-Series performance decreased at high altitudes, usually right around 20,000 feet. At least that was with the A-Series. And this is where the D-Series really comes in. Because in the D-Series, they added a Junkers Jumbo 213 inline engine that they really based the aircraft around. And also, mind you, they had better aerodynamics in this aircraft. You can see it's a little bit more streamlined than, for instance, the A5. But the only thing is, it was introduced in September of 1944, and at that time, Germany was already losing pretty badly. So these aircraft never really got to prove themselves that much, and they didn't really get to do much, really, by the time they introduced it. The war's already kind of been decided. So anyways, getting back to here in War Thunder. This is an aircraft, I would say, the real way to defeat this thing is very simple. Energy trap it. That's the one weakness with this aircraft. You have to energy trap it at a low altitude and try to see if you can get the altitude above it. I will say, if you're at something like a P-51, I feel sorry for you, man, because at almost any altitude, this D13 is going to outrun you. It's going to run you down, and you're just going to have a bad time, but that's welcome to BR. Welcome to the War Thunder BR matchmaking. But if you're in something like a Bearcat, or even a Tiger Cat. Now, the Tiger Cat can't outrun these. Tiger Cat's kind of the one exception with the prop aircraft. The Tiger Cat is just fast. But at all altitudes, no. I would say that the Tiger Cat has a lot better acceleration from what is like 180 miles an hour to somewhere around the 240, 250-ish mark. And then the D13 starts to accelerate a little bit more quickly past that at some altitudes, particularly higher altitudes, because it's just more streamlined. But alright, so you guys have heard what I have to say about this aircraft. Now, this next clip I want to show you, it's not exactly a long clip of how to fly this. This is more or less of what you can expect from this aircraft if you know what you're doing. If you know how to fly it, and you take your time and you learn how to do this. Mind you, I've had this thing for about a year now, and I fly it all the time. And I want to dispel the myth that a lot of people think, oh, they see jets and they're in a prop. Oh, you know, we're never going to win. I can't keep up with them. Well, no, you can. These early jets, and this prop in particular, oh, you can keep up with them. You can keep up with them very well. So, alright, let's go jump in. So, hello, and we are now watching this video. So, basically here in the D13, and we're going to be facing some Americans. And, well, this isn't going to go very well for them. Now, I'm here with my friend Dave, aka Pez. I'm here with my friend Tomahawk. Yet again, when I said this thing saw jets, I wasn't kidding. We have our friend, we got a 262 on our team, a Ta-152. Myself a D13, and David a 229, Tomahawk another D13, another 229, another D13, and a Tempest Mark V. Tempest Mark V being that is the captured version. That's a premium aircraft. So on the enemy team, we got a P-80 Spitfire Mark V-C, because for reasons I don't even know. B-17, F-84B, F-84B, B-29, and a B-17. And look, two more people just loaded in. With an 82 Skyraider. I think someone else has like a B-29 or something like that. But anyways, reason being, very often you will see jets. Oh yeah, and I wasn't kidding about the 15-degree climb at 200 miles an hour. This thing climbs very well. Alright, there's a B-17 over there, just kind of looking at. I'm not really worried about it too much. Just keep flying around. But notice the speed this thing keeps up, and this thing actually really does accelerate quite well. Granted, it's not a jet aircraft, but for a prop it does better than you would think. I really do say with this aircraft, it does very well. Yep, do it past the F-84B, pull off them. Try to go for B-17. And that's just not going to happen. take a pass on the Spitfire. I get a couple hits on him. Now, why the Spitfire marked 5C in here, I don't even know. That's just a fail platoon. That is a fail squad. However, it's actually not a bad aircraft to hide when you think about it, because it has the cannons, and it can outturn everything. That's an aircraft I would take into a rank 5 game. It wouldn't bother me, but it's still stupid to bring him out here, because everything's going to outrun him, even some of the bombers. So, anyways, I put on the combat flaps, get into a left-hand turn. You know, this is where things are going to start getting hectic, guys. This is where things are going to happen. So the 5C, below me starts firing Tomahawk. I thought it was firing Tomahawk, never mind. Tomahawk wasn't there. Alright, here we go. Dave's calling for help down there in his Horton. He's getting sprayed by the F-84. Alright, now notice the dive speeds on this thing. Hitting 450, 460, 470. And I'm going to slow this down because, well, my aim was terrible for the first kill. I'm just all over the place. Still trying to kill him. 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 I'll hit him eventually. I'll hit him eventually. Hit him there we go. Then the next guy, because he's there. Bang. Now we're at 2 kills. But look, there's another one. There's 3 kills. And then there's a Spitfire down there. And, well, he's just an easy target. He's not going to outrun me. Just kind of, you know, just aim well and just go bing. That's all we got to do. There you go. So, I am aware this is a very short clip. But that's kind of the point with this D13. Is the fact that this isn't an aircraft that needs a lot of explaining or a lot of showing off. Exactly what I showed is exactly how what happens in most of those games. Either you avoid the enemy fire and you outrun other prop aircraft. With any jets, you try and engage them, because a lot of the jets are going to focus on taking out the other jets. To an F-84B or any one of those guys, they think a Horton 229 is something that's far more deadly, that really takes priority. And for a lot of them, you don't actually take priority on the kill list. Other props, they do. All the other prop aircraft know to kill you. So you can get away with a lot of this kind of stuff. I see very often, I see P-80s, F-84s, and even some of the early Meteors, or the British Attacker, or a lot of those kind of aircraft, they'll just completely ignore you. When they really shouldn't. They forget how good this aircraft is. And like I was just showing, this is an aircraft that has just a good enough turn time that'll always be able to maneuver with any of the jets. Granted, I say any with a little asterisk next to the Meteor, because the Meteor just creates a ridiculous amount of lift. But it can really keep up with any of those jets in terms of maneuverability. Granted, yes, on the deck they can outrun you, but actually with a few of them you can even attempt to outclimb them. And that's kind of what we ended up doing, is they all went to the deck, besides the P-80. Those 2 F-84Bs went to the deck, and that's when they lose, because I'm going to be able to keep up with them, especially if they're maneuvering to try and kill someone. So anyways, in the last note, I would say that if you guys can get this aircraft, I would. This thing is also an effective ground and pound aircraft. You can take out a lot of AAA. And it can actually take, what is it, like a 500 kilogram bomb with a bunch of 250s on it. So it has enough bombing potential where you and a buddy can take out an enemy base, and then go ground pounding if you don't feel like necessarily taking out jets and other prop aircraft. So I would say, in short, I'd recommend this aircraft. I always have, and I've always said this is a very good aircraft. However, with the recent changes to a lot of the other aircraft, I find this thing shines even more. It's an aircraft that I truly like, and it's probably one of my favorite aircraft besides my few other aircraft that I find special. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought, and I hope to see y'all next time.